Yeah, clearly relationship circle. Because we're talking heartbreaks and Jasmine Bank is here.
Hi.
How are you?
I am good.
You know, after watching a video you did with your husband
Yes.
this morning,
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll have a coach session with just you and Mo there, and just let's just talk it out. Let's help everybody.
We need to do that.
And most of the times when most of the topics that we pick up, when I look at your life and things that you've gone through,
Yeah.
it's sort of like you're just picking from this happened to me.
Yes.
So I'm at a very good place to share that
Exactly.
with whoever is listening.
It's not just knowledge, it's
Yeah.
experience with the knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's tough today.
Yes.
We're talking heartbreaks.
Heartbreaks, how to get through them,
Yeah.
why do they happen?
And I think most of us, if not everybody, we've gone through heartbreaks.
yes.
I randomly asked my makeup artist this morning, have you ever been heartbroken? She was like, Mbaya, Mbaya sana. It's not easy and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
They
it
also say
is.
there's not an easy way to break a heart. So
Exactly. But I also feel, you know, when you look at some heartbreaks, you look at the statistics that show some people have been through heartbreak because they've been cheated on. Then you look at some people that have gone through heartbreak because, you know, one of the persons in the relationship has just got bored and they feel I've checked out and I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And then you have the rest of the people that have just experienced different ways. You've broken up because of family, culture, religion, just so many, you know, distance, so many different reasons. But a lot of people that experience heartbreak, depending on the kind of heartbreak it's been, they sort of struggle because you move into a phase where you sort of feel, was it because of me?
Yeah.
You sort of feel, let me bargain through this. Let me sort of look at, did we break up because I could do something better or I could bring something better to the table? A lot of people don't realize sometimes you break up because actually it's time for you to be able to make up with yourself.
Yeah.
Because the relationship, it was time for it to go. But when a relationship just ends without you seeing it coming, without you sort of feeling we're at that point where both of us are thinking it's time to break up, but no one has the guts or the strength to end this relationship. The ones where you don't see it coming,
Yeah.
those are the ones that leave people in so much pain. There's pain in a breakup no matter what.
that's true.
But when you don't see it coming, it goes and touches deep into self-worth and self-esteem. Because you start to feel, is it me? Was it something I said? Is it a chain of relationships I keep going through? I sort of feel I didn't fit in even with family. I can't seem to find someone that will just love me forever. So you move into this place where sometimes you feel past even denial,
Yeah.
I'll bargain my way back into a relationship. And then some people go into relapsing because it's like, okay, I sort of feel I don't want to deal with the red flags we had. I don't want to deal even with how you broke up with me
Yeah.
or the pain that I haven't even absorbed I'm going through. But I'll relapse into this relationship for a long time because we will make up and break up and make up and break up.
Yeah.
Until we hit a point where one of us realizes it is completely, utterly over. And so a lot of people feel when I relapse, sometimes that helps me get over it. Some people feel, just being in complete denial. This relationship isn't over. They will come back, so you don't even grieve it. You don't go through sadness, anger, depression. You just don't feel it because you feel they will come back. And they, you read the books of how to get the guy back. You join these little Facebook groups. I've had some friends that join these Facebook groups and say, they're teaching me how to text. They're teaching me how to send these one-liners and he will come back. I'm certain of it. And you just realize sometimes a relationship means, it's pushing you into self-worth, not other worth, because it's about you. Self-worth, self-love is not about other love.
Yeah.
It needs you to come back to your core to say, what was going on in the relationship for me to be able to just sometimes deal with the emotion, feel it. A lot of people feel, I can't feel pain, I want to run from it. So I'm going to deal with distraction. And I feel instead of being distracted when you're going through a breakup, what if you go through progress of a breakup? So what would progress be?
Yeah, what does that look like?
That means you actually sometimes sit with the emotion that I'm feeling.
Okay.
And you either write through the emotion you're feeling or you could voice through the emotion you're feeling, but actually deal with it. Because when you don't deal with the core of an emotion, it's going to keep coming up later on. And like they say, if you don't deal with the past, you'll bleed on your future.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to sit down and say, what's the emotion going on? What did it cause inside of me? Has it caused me to feel neglected, rejected, completely unwanted? And then, is it true that I'm completely rejected, neglected, and unwanted?
Okay.
Could the truth be that maybe the other person wasn't ready for where I wanted to go? Could it be maybe I wasn't paying attention to the relationship and that's why it came to an end? So I feel sometimes in a breakup, when you go through the emotion of what you've been through, either party, the person that broke up with you or you're the person dealing with the heartache, one of you will learn the lesson. Sometimes it's, I'm better than being in this relationship, and sometimes it's, I should have put more love, effort, and care so this relationship never ended.
Oh my goodness. Most of the times, I think when it happens, we react instead of sitting down and listening and figuring out what I feel, what are the emotions, what caused this. We just react back. I'm going to date the next guy who shows up. Where's your brother? You know, people go to all kinds of extremes.
Yes, you go into addiction. You either go into alcohol to numb the pain because you're not dealing with the emotion. You can't feel the pain. You drive past something, it reminds you of them. You listen to a song. You know, they say you could smell a scent and it'll remind you of the person completely. Some people go into sleeping in their t-shirts. Some people, you know, will burn photographs or delete you from Facebook or Instagram because it's like a way of dealing with, I need you to leave my life, so when I see you come into my life, you're not triggering something for me. But there's such a beautiful analogy I was reading the other day, and it says, a student asked a teacher that, how do I know the difference between like and love? And the teacher says, when somebody likes you or they like a flower, they will pluck a flower. When somebody loves a flower, they will water a flower.
That's true.
So sometimes you have to realize, am I consistently getting plucked in a relationship? Or is this relationship watering the two of us to be able to grow? Because some breakups are a beautiful time actually for couples to realize we love each other so much. But the way we're behaving, we've lost sight of a relationship. We've lost sight of who we were when we came back together. Life's taken over the relationship. It's not that we've got bored. It's that we just don't know how to take this relationship to the next level. So sometimes that breakup works for the two of you. You have time to grow into a beautiful space with yourself, to be able to say, do I want to be with this person emotionally anymore? Was it just physical? Because when you get into relationships, you want it to be physical, spiritual, you know, mental, emotional. But when you have breakups, sometimes it triggers all of that because we went and relied on all of that on one person. Have you ever seen sometimes when people get into a new relationship, they somehow stop hanging out with you? They lose all the friends. Yes. And it's because you somehow say, this person will fill all those needs for me. And then when the breakup happens,
then that's why it hurts so bad, because you came in and gave everything and expected everything
and took away your community. You took away your support. And somehow now you feel this one person's gone. I'm reliant on them for everything. They filled me in every way. When I needed to talk to someone when I was down, they were my best friend, or I thought they're my best friend in every way, my lover. But I forgot I needed people in my life that when these moments happen, I could turn to them for different things.
That's so true. What is your heartbreak story, guys? Share that with us. Are you going through something like that? Are you struggling to move on from, you know, a dead relationship? You know, you can just share your story with us. Send in all your questions, because after this break, you're coming back with shares mean 111 That is our SMS line. Just a shilling. And we get shares to answer your questions. We'll be right back. And how you can find yourself in the midst of all of that, that you don't have to lose yourself, that there's hope after that you need to sit down instead of reacting immediately. We have Shazmin Bank in the building. We're taking in all your questions. send them in, share your heartbreak story. How did it happen? Did they just walk out on you? I think that's the most difficult, when you don't even know, they ghost you.
You
and they
don't
just
see
go.
it coming.
You don't.
Yeah, you're completely blindsided. You're this person thinking this relationship's going to work. You know,
Yeah.
I'm planning our future, but you have no idea. And it's called the escape. Someone's one foot's in the relationship, but they're planning their escape, and you have no idea that's about to hit you. And I think that's the most painful. But it's also sometimes the other person feeling too coward to have to deal with your emotions, to sit down and tell you why I feel we're breaking up, and give the other person a chance to feel the pain, to digest, to ask you, what did I do wrong? What went wrong? Because then you leave them feeling those emotions with their
Yeah.
girlfriends for so long. So it's painful when
It is
somebody
very
just decides
painful.
to walk out on you with no reason.
Well, there's a conversation around how to do it and what's the best way to do it. Don't text me, don't send an email.
Don't ghost me, don't
Don't
blank
ghost
me.
me. Let's
Yeah.
do it this face to face. I don't have the car, I should do it face to face. What would you suggest if anybody's looking to, have a breakup with someone and they don't know how to do it?
Well, I'd say if you choose to get into a relationship, then you're choosing as two grown-ups to take a relationship on.
Yes.
If you feel it's not going to work, then you have the courage to sit down with somebody and say, this is why I feel it's not working for me.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you. It's all about where I am in my life. You know, there's this beautiful thing about sometimes we look at age versus somebody's, emotional age. You look at physical age, but you forget to see emotionally we're always growing as people.
Yeah.
Are we still compatible emotionally versus just, how old are you? What's the age gap in our relationship? What's the emotional gap in the relationship? We forget to keep going there. What's the mental gap in our relationship? What's the spiritual gap in our relationship? Because when we meet, everything seems beautiful.
Yes.
Everything's perfect. But when you're reaching this point of breaking up, a lot of people, I tell them, assess and take a step back when you're dealing with emotion to say, were we really mentally compatible out of 10? Were we really spiritually compatible out of 10? Were we physically where I would love us to be out of 10? Were we verbally where I wanted us to be out of 10? Was our romance where? Because sometimes that helps you break down the whole relationship into little bite sizes to say, you know what, this part really wasn't working.
Yeah.
I was trying to push this way more than that person was trying to push it. So now I can see maybe the relationship wasn't working not because of me. Maybe it just wasn't working because they also weren't investing in. But we don't deal and get to that level because sometimes we do the very typical thing of talking about what they did wrong, talking about how wrong they are and how bad they are, or you go into the phase of talking about the sweetness you had in the relationship,
Okay.
or you go into the phase of I'm just going to deal with this, progress, move on, and let this go, and look at the relationship for a full lesson. But the biggest mistake people make is jumping into that next relationship because it will numb me completely from dealing with anything. This new relationship will indirectly tell the person that left me, see, you lost.
Yes.
Somebody else wanted me. So I'm still worthy, I'm still wanted. But you're not dealing with, do I even want to be in a relationship like this in the first place?
Yeah.
Because this one just broke up.
You're not even focused on the new guy or the new girl.
You need to be
because you're
focused
still
on you.
focused on the other one who left you. You're trying to prove a point to someone who already walked out on you.
Yes.
So you lose you and the person that you are dragging along the mat with you.
And you kind of lose, it's like you grieve a vision. Because somewhere deep inside you sort of feel we're dating, this will lead somewhere. I've probably met your family. We've had a vision. We talked about marriage. Where did that vision go wrong? And that's why sometimes cheating, losing interest, and then all the other reasons that come in with a breakup.
Yeah.
You need to be able to deal with everything individually and say, if it was somebody that cheated on me and completely broke my heart, then I'm completely worth not being in this relationship. Because that's where I see there's such a pattern. People would be like, okay, he cheated on me once, and I always feel relationships can work, they can come back. If the other person is sorry enough and wanting and willing to go through the work to build that foundation of trust again, that's a whole different story
Yeah.
to someone who consistently cheats on you, hurts you, but you feel, I can't let this relationship go because the fear of being alone, the pain of being in this relationship is more bearable
Than being
than the
alone.
pain of dealing with what was wrong with me. And nothing is ever wrong with you. It's never your fault.
I hope you're hearing this, guys. I hope you're hearing and you're sharing your stories with us. Our SMS line is 111 Are you ready to get into it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, morning, Mikali. Wow, my favorite relationship coach. We ask Shaz, Hananga YouTube channel. Maybe I can reach her through that YouTube channel. No, IG.
You can reach me on IG, and I got a podcast, so at least you can listen to the podcast. There's
Yes.
a link in Instagram, so
Okay.
it's got like so many different topics.
Okay.
Yes.
At being real now.
Instagram YouTube is coming.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay.
Working on it.
Hi, Shaz and Mukali, looking gorgeous. What's one supposed to do when you break up with someone but strongly feel it wasn't your fault? I'm not even sure I've moved on because I can't get her off my mind. What do I do?
Well, you know, sometimes it's to be able to deal with that. It's okay if you can't get her off your mind. So many people try to run away from, I've just broken up, let me jump into this new relationship, let me just focus on work, let me drink it away. No, it's okay. If she was somebody you really loved, then I say in that breakup, you're the winner. Why are you the winner? Because you're the one left in pain, because that means you gave your whole heart
Yeah.
and soul to somebody.
Yeah.
So someone that took that away or broke it, it's okay, because they're the person that probably didn't give all in. You gave all in, so you walk away as a winner, because that means the next time you ever fall in love, you'll have already learned from this relationship. You've understood pain. You know how to treat somebody in the next relationship. It's using the pain to work for you always.
That goes with the quote of the day today.
Exactly. It is
actually
always
does.
using it to work
Yeah.
for you. And remember, do you want to be the person that's watered, or you want to be the person that's plucked? And if somebody's plucking you, then that means they're taking away your growth. They're stemming you at a point where you don't even know what heights you could ever grow. Because a relationship has to fuel you. A relationship's a place you come and bounce, and then you leap higher, even separately.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you bounce together, and sometimes you have to bounce on your own to come back together. If that relationship's not doing it for you, then you're the lucky one left in pain, because your pain will be a beautiful lesson for you.
Thank you, Shaz. Hi, Mikali. I am Mary. What if I feel I want to ask for a breakup? I don't think our relationship is working.
Well, beautiful. So I would say honor the person by telling them why. Let them know why the relationship for you at this stage isn't working, but don't leave them feeling like they're inadequate. So
Okay.
tell the person, I love you for everything that you are, but I feel for me right now, this relationship's not blooming me, or it's sort of bringing me down, or I'm just not growing in some area. But it has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with me, and that's why I want the relationship to come to a break, or we take a little gap and we could see where we are later on. But I would just say, when you're breaking up with somebody, just sort of hold their heart in your hands, because you never want that to happen to you at some point. So think about everything they could feel, have the patience to have the conversation with them, and have the patience to reassure them and be there for them while they're hurting in that time that you've just told them.
Okay. Hi, Mikali. Aki, for me, my partner used to lie and cheat. Every time I say I want us to break up, she definitely freezes, almost kukunywa hapik. Ali ilifika place mpaka I insult her and beat her, everything like a small thing. I blame her with her past mistakes, but this time round I did it like for real. We broke. What are you saying? We broke up, and now it's tough to go through. You tortured her, and now you've broken up with her, and you don't know how to live without her.
So I think, is he also saying that she was suicidal every time he
Yes.
wanted to break up?
Yeah.
And then he's anger on feeling chained in the relationship, not knowing, how do I leave somebody who's already emotionally in such a bad place?
Yes.
If I leave her, then she does something, I'm going to have the guilt. So what if I take this drastic step of being violent and aggressive, hoping she will leave me.
Okay.
But she's still not leaving me because she's attached. She doesn't want to ever let go. And now you're being verbally, mentally, physically abusive, which is hurting someone who's already in that mental state even more.
Yeah.
I just feel when people feel suicidal during a breakup, that's not the time you break them even more. But it's also sometimes unfair, yes, to the person who wants to leave because this person's where they are. But that's part of humanity. That's part of the part you become human enough to say, I can wait a little bit to get this person through this, get them the help they need, talk to some friends, a bit of community that let them know I want to leave. I don't feel I want to be here, but I'm worried this person will do something to hurt themselves. So I need more help to walk out. Don't hurt someone that is already so broken because you don't know now that you leave, where is she?
Yeah.
So I would say I get also the pain you're in to have done that.
Yeah.
And I get the pain she's in, and that's where it just gets toxic. So sometimes it's so much better the two of you are completely apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Mikali and Shazmin. My heartbreak story is that on my wedding day, I reached the church only to find the guy saying vows with a wedding planner. That was something I didn't expect until to date. I hear of weddings and I just cringe.
Oh, that is painful. That is painful. But can I tell you something? You are about to say wedding vows in front of God.
Yes.
Which means God was already looking out for you to say that had you married somebody like this, you would
Yes.
experience so much more pain later on. I rather give you that bout of pain now and open your eyes up now to maybe even some signs you were missing or refused to see.
Yeah.
And now that teaches you in your next relationship. Don't ignore small red flags and wait for them to get so big and wave in your face and smack you. Sometimes red flags are red flags. But I would tell her, I just feel God looked out for you and said, I'm going to save you from heartache later on.
Okay. Morning, Mikali. Not a breakup, but ask Shaz, why do I start feeling like finding myself, looking at what I have? How can I start a life of my own when we have an argument with my partner? Is it because I have no job? When we argue, I feel so empty because he brushes it on my face, but I'm looking forward for one. Say hi to Shaz.
Hi, beautiful. So maybe the bit that I've got from that, I would say, whenever you feel empty, and this is a beautiful question because somebody actually asked it to me over the weekend. They said, how do you ever find inner happiness? Or how do you not feel so empty? And then not blame people around you for making you feel empty. It's because sometimes you forget you focus on so much externally that you've forgotten the internal fuels the external. The internal of you guides where you're going externally in life. It's like your beacon. But we're not ever taught to go within, to self-love, to take moments to be able to fill up your own cup, to be able to love yourself so much that when somebody doesn't treat you right, you immediately turn around and say, I wouldn't treat myself that way. I don't talk to myself internally that way. I love me so much that the way you're treating me doesn't feel right immediately.
Okay.
So it helps you set boundaries very early on in a relationship.
Okay.
So I would just say if you're feeling empty and you have a partner that's pushing even more of that in you, you've got to communicate and tell them, this is where I already am. And I always like to tell people, when life brings you down to your knees, the only other way is into prayer.
That's so
because
true.
that's going to help you stand up. So being down on your knees is never the low point. The best point is when you go further down and you surrender and say, I'm here. How much lower can I go? The only other way is up.
You know, flips her. Pray when you get down there. Hello, Mikali. I need you to help me with a situation I'm going through. I was married for 4 months, but my mother-in-law never loved me. She found every reason for me to leave because there was a girl she preferred to be his son's wife who happened to be my friend. one day to Likosana, now my husband, and she told him anirudishe kwetu. A month later, she conceived his son to marry the other girl. She convinced his son to marry the other girl. So they got married for 6 months, again started seeing the bad in the other girl and mistreated her until she left. Now my husband came to me begging me to go back to him, that he has realized his mistakes. Do you think this is a good decision to go back? Because even when he got married, he never told me. Therefore, we kept meeting until I realized something was wrong. What do I do?
So there are two ways, okay? It's either you realize the mother has a very strong hold and opinion on the son. So is he willing to be able to tell the mother, my relationship with my wife will come first.
Yeah.
And you cannot interfere and come between the relationship we both have. So first you have to find out, is he strong enough to be able to tell his mom that? Because they will always then be something she keeps bringing into that relationship. Number two, trust. Is he willing to be able to build your trust back and convince you, I will work on this and I will change? Because I will tell you, do not ever run into a relationship like that straight away. Because it could work if he's realized, but he has to prove to you how and what that looks like.
Yeah.
You know, I love the fact that, you know, you look at the word love. Love is a verb. It's not a noun, which means somebody has to show you that they love you, not tell you that they love you. So it's a very tricky situation. And I say that because myself, when I separated from my husband, the whole world would have told me never ever go back. But I gave it a good 3 years before I decided now this could be something we work on. But what does that entail? Seeing he's consistent, him showing that he loves you completely, proving to you my mom will never ever interfere, then taking the time to heal the pain he has caused by picking someone over you, because only you know what that has triggered inside of you. So is he willing to do all that work before you even consider ever going back to that relationship again?
Okay. Morning, Mikali. I love your guest. I always get late to work listening to her. I feel you. I do. I broke up with my guy a year ago, but he keeps insisting we get back. We go back. He learnt a lesson, but I hesitate because I don't want to go through the ordeal again. How do I go back and start again with him? I think this ties in with what we've just said. Hi guys, you look beautiful. My name is Mary. We broke up with my boyfriend a few months ago, and I found out that I'm pregnant for him. But it's like I left. But he's like, I left you when you're okay. And the worst thing is that I love him so much. Break up and I'm pregnant.
Okay, so I would first say, if he is the father, then wait for the child to come and do a paternity test. And then show him that you are the father. Because I feel no one should ever get away without paying the maintenance or leaving you feeling, you know, I've got this financial burden while I've got this whole new life that I need to give life to. So wait for that, do that first step. The second thing I would tell you is, if somebody can turn around to say, I left you when you were okay, then you need to be able to think about, do I want to bring a child into a relationship that's already going to be a battle? Versus me bringing up a child and teaching them so many new beautiful values. Because I know some people feel so torn with the fact that I should get back into a relationship so the child grows up with mother and father. But sometimes when you talk to so many, like of the clients I even have, they say, you know, at this age, sometimes I wish my parents were separated so I didn't have to turn out the way I've turned out now. So as also a single mom, you can be beautiful. You can raise this child even better. But don't go back to a situation because you are scared you're pregnant. It's a whole new start in life for you in a different way. Might not be easy, but it's something you have the strength to be able to get through. And I'm telling you, after you give birth, you can do anything.
One final question. Before we come to the end of this. Hello, Mikali. We had some misunderstanding and he wasn't talking to me and I got tired and never communicated with him. Then till today, he hasn't talked to me. or asked me any questions. It was hard for me, especially because in one way or the other we have to meet because we work together. And I used to miss him, but thank God after watching the relationship segment, I'm strong though. I'm strong though. I think I got a phobia when it comes to relationships, but I will wait until I feel ready.
Yes, and that's the best, most beautiful place. Use your breakups to be your personal makeups. Use the energy you spent in those relationships to give back to yourself.
Yeah.
You now have time to think about, who do I want in my life? Who do I want to be in my life? What is the vision that I want? What would be, this goal? Where do I want us to, where do I see us going?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for couples to remember is, if you ever want your relationship to work, do what you did in the first 3 months and it will never be the end. The first 3 months you were attentive, you had patience, you cared. Everything they did was perfect, it wasn't wrong. You weren't looking for what is wrong. You were seeing everything that was right and making it right. Somebody could say, this person is, but you would be like, no, and you correct that.
Yeah.
Use that again in your relationships to be able to work it. If it can't work, it's okay. That's a beautiful lesson for part of your relationship that can, or another one that can work again.
Thank you, Shaz.
You're welcome.
And the questions, as usual, there's so many. We can direct them directly to Shaz, social media handle.
Yes. So you can reach me at Being Real Now. You can send me a DM. I'll always respond. We can chat. And you just have another friend on the other end of it that you don't feel alone dealing with any problems.
I see something somewhere. You can always bank on her.
You can bank on me.
We're taking a very short commercial break. We will be right back. This is Full Circle.